Okay, I have a serious correction to make from my last video. I'm going to leave my last video up as a testimony to my personal ignorance. I was corrected on programming and coding language because I thought that one of the reasons a guy couldn't leave a comment under one of my videos was because it was another case of YouTube censorship. Now, does YouTube censor? Yeah, we've caught him a lot in the past, and we've proven that with documentation and video evidence. But this one is not the case. The question revolves around this statement: request contains an invalid argument. If you want to get up to speed on that, just check out my last video, which I regret having made now on one side of the scale. On the other side of the scale, I'm kind of glad, because truth fears no scrutiny. In your pursuit of truth, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be ignorance that you have in you. And ignorance is not stupidity. It's just there's certain things you don't know at this point. And you guys have educated me. That's why I say none of us is greater than all of us. People bring things to the table that you currently don't have. They have valuable information. They have a thought process that's different from yours. And that's why you never want to lock yourself into any kind of echo chamber, no matter how good that echo chamber looks. I have a bias and you have bias. And one of my It's not good. Bias is not bad in and of itself, but extreme bias is. I have an extreme bias against censorship. So anytime I see this kind of stuff, I automatically assume, which is a mistake. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I automatically assume there's some kind of nefarious purpose that underpins what we're actually seeing. So this code, or this alert, or this notation, request contains an invalid argument, doesn't mean what I initially thought it meant. And thanks to you guys, and I'm going to read some of your comments, I've been enlightened. The first comment that I ran across was this one by 308. And 308 says, "Hi, Brian, I'm a computer programmer myself, and judging from the error message, it probably has to do with the whole copy and paste thing and getting some background invisible characters that you don't see. Like for the bolding of some of those headers, for instance, another possibility, or the line breaks. The special characters needed for a line break could be causing problems amongst other hidden things within the copied text. I bet if he actually typed," and this is the guy who actually tried to post something under my video and then he got that error, "I bet if he actually typed out all those words and didn't go beyond the character limit," which from my reading, it looks like character limit is the thing that causes request contains an invalid argument. He could probably most likely post it, "My humble programmer's opinion." And I really, really appreciate not only what you said, 308, but how you said it. Some people were a little more abrasive, and that's fine, because like I said, truth fears no scrutiny. I don't care how truth comes at me. I want to acquiesce to the truth, and I never want to promote any kind of lies. That's why I want to do this video right here, and that's why I want to leave the last video up so that you can look at an example of somebody who suffers at times from extreme bias, and that extreme bias keeps you from making, well, it keeps you from investigating further. All I had to do was type in, quote, "request contains an invalid argument," end quote, and I would have got some answers. I'm going to go over a couple of more of your comments, but I wanted to show you what I came up with when I said, and here's my query right here: what is an invalid argument in programming? And this is what came back: the invalid argument error. And it doesn't mean argument like we think, like somebody makes an argument or makes a case, and then somebody else goes, "Well, the case that you just made is invalid." That's an incorrect way to look at invalid argument in programming. And there could be another invalid argument where two people are engaged in a conversation and one person tries to make a case and the other person goes, "Well, your argument is invalid because of," and then state your facts or the facts that you believe at the time. The invalid argument error is a WebDriver error that occurs when the arguments passed to a command are either invalid or malformed. Invalid argument errors can be likened to type errors in JavaScript, and that they can occur for a great many APIs. What's an API? An API is an application programming interface. When the input value is not of the expected type or malformed in some way, and from what some of you guys are telling me is the length of the post, it was too long, it exceeded 8,000 characters or whatever, and it spit out this invalid argument error. So I fear that I've misled people into believing that request contains an invalid argument was some kind of censorship by YouTube, and it looks like it's not. Jeff Gray responded under my video. He said, I just shared this directly with my attorneys from Fire. Thanks for exposing this, Missouri Battle Flag and Brian. Missouri Battle Flag is the guy who's tweeting this stuff out. Operating on ignorance and then passing down that ignorance, definitely not a good thing. E. Shoot says, a notice. I've come across this many, many times. The issue isn't the content, but the number of characters. Ask your person to cut the post in half and retry. 99.9% of the time, this will be the issue. Not suggesting there's not censorship, but I do want to caution what claims we assume or presume. Saying this is YouTube censorship based on content and then being shown incorrect. Such things cost you credibility and validity. I totally agree. That's why I'm making this correction video, because while truth fears no scrutiny, people who are truth tellers and are trying to uncover errors and what's going on and push back the tides of tyranny and all that kind of stuff, we need to make sure that we are above board and the information we're putting out on our platforms is the correct information. And anytime we get it wrong, we should just step back and go, you know what? I'm a human being. This wasn't intentional. It was completely in ignorance. I was lazy. I should have done my research. I could have done this with a 2-minute Google search and I could have clarified everything. Wouldn't have made that video and everything would have been fine. E. Shoot says, you guys are far too important to be discredited by such simple misconceptions. Completely agree. And I understand somebody walking away from my video that I did yesterday and going, you know what, this guy, I'm not going to listen to him anymore. Unsubscribe. I don't blame anybody for doing that. Do I think it's rash? I mean, I don't know. It depends. It could be, but you know, I'm the one who stepped in the crap. So I'm the one who made my bed. Now I got to sleep in it. So it's really 100% on me. If you are correct, more power to you. If this is really a size-based restriction and not content-based, then please correct the error. Great advice. Your overall message is no less valid, but don't let simple mistakes be your discrediting. Appreciate both of you guys. Awesome comment. Awesome comment. And I just told him, I said, I'll be doing a follow-up video on this tomorrow. That's today. And I appreciate the way you offered your correction. Puff and Stuff said, invalid argument sounds like programming language to me. As soon as I saw it in the video, I Googled YouTube invalid argument and found countless posts about it. It took me less than 3 minutes. Lumps taken. Blah McBlahface says, it's bad Brian doesn't double check stuff like this before he posts. He should test things before making a video and getting people thinking the wrong thing. Blah McBlahface, thank you very much for the correction. I totally agree. 78 says, OFFS, he can't know everything. Everyone makes mistakes. And Blah McBlahface says, he didn't need to know. I didn't know. I tested it. Again, point well taken. Correction made. Information received. And that's why this correction video. Hugh says, here's the deal. In computer programming, the term argument is used to refer to a parameter being used in the code. An invalid argument is a common error message that all programmers see almost daily. Like many others have said, this error is likely due to special characters in the text that the parser can't process, or the text exceeds max input size. That's not to say that other forms of censorship aren't happening, just this one is likely not it. Our world basically rests on a bed of lies. I do not want to add to the lies by in ignorance, putting out videos that lead people down the wrong track. Please forgive me. I wish I could guarantee this is not going to happen in the future, but you know what? There are a lot of cognitive dissonance cobwebs still rattling around in my brains, and I'm trying to clear them every single day. I appreciate you guys. None of us is greater than all of us. One of the things that we can do on this life's journey is gently correct people who are in error, who mean well, but they're spewing stuff in ignorance like I did yesterday in this video. So I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate this community. Freedom has a price, and that price is eternal vigilance. And I wasn't vigilant on this, and I need to be more vigilant in the future. So I appreciate all the corrections from everybody who left a comment letting me know, hey man, you're on the wrong path. You need to do some research on this. So that's why this correction video. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. If you still want to, you know, Mr. Ignorant over here, why would you follow that guy? I have no idea. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with everybody you know. Visit the last video and give me my lumps if you want to. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description. Grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design from the store. Become a channel member. Check out my other social media outlets. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video.